MovieWeb.com.
So I was wondering if you could begin by talking about Nick Hornby's script and how it captured the time and the essence of that period and what made you want to make the film.
Nick Hornby is a quite minimalist writer. He's witty and precise, and there's very little excess in the script. So there's a lot of space for all the departments, not just the directing department, but also the actors and the art department, sound, editing. And that's a pleasure to work with material which is precise without being controlling. He's a really good script writer, and this is the first film script he's written about a boy, and High Fidelity and Fever Pitch were based on books.
What about this period of Britain in the 60s, the culture, the art, the music, what about that period attracted to the project, and what did he capture correctly about that in the script?
I think Nick Hornby immediately saw that there's a congruence between Jennie, the main character, and the time she's in. London was not swinging yet. They were still recording these songs in the recording studios. The pantyhose was still to be invented. And Jennie wants to shake that 50s feel away and move into this new time where there's a lot more freedom and love and space for someone with her kind of appetite for life. And Nick Hornby was really interested in that time, in the music, in getting it right, and that we've tried to get into the film, so you enter a time pocket that hasn't that often been seen on film, and hopefully get a feel of how London was exactly then. Film is such a time machine sometimes.
Yeah. What do you hope American audiences will take away and learn from that?
The film has an important statement about education, definitely. But all the other themes, love, caring about other people, liking people who are very different from you, finding out who you are, shaking off a war and entering a future where you have a right to have fun. All this complexity that's in the film is what I really enjoyed working with. But I think if you are young and you see the film, you learn a lesson about taking good care of yourself in your education. So there is a moral issue to it, but I was more interested in all the other stuff.
The relationship between David and Jennie is so interesting, and on the surface would be maybe looked at as, frowned upon. But I was wondering, it's displayed so beautifully in the film. How did you do that? How did you take the right amount of, everything to kind of make that the way it was in the movie?
It makes it easier to direct if you really like the characters, because then you like them enough to also not be afraid of their flaws. And both David and Jennie, primarily David, have put petrol or gas, as it's called in America, on that engine of something that they shouldn't do. And I think it's interesting to pinpoint the moments where they make mistakes, so that the film doesn't just get warm and sweet, but you get some acid in the mix as well. And if you have actors at that level and are truly interested in getting the most out of each moment in the film, then you get that complexity, which makes it interesting.
And you got that from Peter and Carrie?
Both Peter Sarsgaard and Carey Mulligan are brilliant actors. They're so faceted and courageous and disciplined and easy to work with. It was a joy. And they think I'm, sloppy and lazy, but it's just because they did their job so well. I didn't need to really try and show that I can be a proper director if I want to.